Okay.
It's just, yeah, I like to keep a lot of things open until the final inking stage. Because I like to, I don't like to be everything rigid. I just need to know where the large black areas go.
Okay.
Just fill them in roughly. I like to keep a bit of a surprise element in the inking stage. Otherwise it becomes very tedious.
Yeah, kind of stale if you have to do the same thing three times.
It has a bit of risk involved. Yeah. Sometimes I have to start over again.
You like the risk? Huh?
Yeah, I need that, otherwise I become bored.
Yeah.
Because I've done the drawing already 3 times, So there are a lot of comic artists who really don't want to have any surprises when they're inking. So their pencils are nearly as tight as especially when somebody else inks your work. Like in America, you have to really do really tight pencils. But inking for me is like this is like the stage where it starts to sing. This is really the nice stage of the page, because all the nasty work is done. This is all the work, And then I scan it in and I do the toning and lettering, and I do it on computer. I like to work big because then the originals get really tight.
Have you always worked in this size, or?
No, when this is the final print page. When I started out doing comics, I used to work on A3.
Yeah.
But this is because you never realize how big some artists work. But then I saw an exhibition by Charles Burns.
Yeah.
And his originals were like this. And then I realized, oh, that's the reason why he can be so tight. He just work very big. So that's when I started working like under 40% bigger. You have to have a comfortable, because when you're working, you can't work too big, because you lose the control of the page. You really have to bend over your page, and So this is like the best workable size for me. And I like to work with a brush, so I'm not very good at small details. So when it's this size, it starts cramming up. So I like to be a bit more free. So this format has been stuck with me for the last 15 years.
Okay. Yeah.
And I buy this paper in this size. So I cut it in 4, so that's easy.
Okay.
It's easy to handle, So, and I cut this in 4, and this is already cut in 2. So I cut this in 2. And I have 2 pages.
Some more goodies.
Yeah, this is just. No, this is that's Peter Cushing.
Oh, Peter Cushing.
This is.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, this was done for a magazine. This is also done for a magazine.
Yeah. London after midnight.
Work.
Yeah.
I'm working on. These are just sketches. This one I finished. This one. These 2 I still have to do. I'll show you. This is just some personal work.
Yeah.
This is the finished. These are just some favorite artists of mine. We'll do a whole series.
Hank Williams.
I don't know. Maybe there will be cards or maybe or a book.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just had some free time, so just experimenting with lettering. And also, people ask me to do exhibitions quite a lot of time, but I never have any original work to show. So it's nice to put original work up on show instead of prints.
Yeah, of course.
But most of the stuff I do is for print, so it's usually a digital illustration. So I wanted to do this can be a cool exhibition.
Oh, really? We had a comics festival just a few weeks ago, and we had themed comics and music.
Ah.
Yeah, this would have been a great exhibition.
It's always a good theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had.
Because I know a lot of people computer and it gets colored and and the final, because I usually work for print. It's all easy to work from black and white drawings. But sometimes people tend to want to see more and more original work. Just the black and white originals.
Yeah.
So I try once in a while to make just stuff that stands on its own. I'm always trying to perfect my inking skills.
It's 101 years since it was born.
Yeah. Okay.
Now in May.
This was commissioned. This is a theatrical poster for that guy, a Belgian comedian.
Okay.
This is his third show. So just got that finished last week. This is for a magazine cover. Which is going to be was supposed to be a flip over. So the magazine's like this. It's like a spring scene. They wanted a spring scene. So
Yeah.
this is like a real annoyance. This is a real life annoyance from a lot of Amsterdam residents. Like the
Scooters.
now they have exploded in the city. It's like almost like Italy now, Amsterdam. Because they have this law. You don't have to wear a helmet if they're going slower than 40 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
But nobody goes slower than 40 kilometers an hour.
No.
Everybody drives at least 45 or 50 or 60.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen
And they're allowed on bicycle lanes. So and they're incredible. They're terrible. Of course, they're all kids riding them. So.
What's the one with your Lovecraft?
Yeah. Oh yeah, this one.
Thing.
Yeah.
On the cover.
Yeah. I think it's here. Huh? This one.
Yeah, that one.
There's some more art. It's strange because how this works, but I wanted to do another cover. I wanted to do just the portraits. But what I usually do is sometimes I ink in 2 different pages and scan it in and use different coloring. But then I was start inking this one and I thought this is just a beautiful cover. Just do it like this, So that just happened by chance. But it says it all,
Yeah.
This story, The Outsider, I did already 6 or 7 years ago. We were originally trying to do a compilation, anthology, different Dutch guys, but we didn't get funding or anything. My publisher was interested, but we said from the onset, we asked a lot of guys to participate. We said we don't have any money, so if you want to participate, we don't have any money to pay you up front. He says, yeah, okay, no problem. But of course, I was the first to have it finished.
Yeah.
Nobody came up with their work. So I just had this lying around in a drawer for years. And then my publisher said, why did you do a whole book? And why are you waiting on those other guys? You can have it done in a year. And then my publisher Ogenblik was bought by the Bezigheid, which is the biggest literary publisher in Holland.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, if you have a project, we can do something now. We have some funds now. So sort of it all came together. I got some government money for this. And
that's great. Government sponsored Lovecraft.
No, it's just art. There was art grants.
Yeah.
A couple of cartoonists went to the previous Minister of Culture.
Yeah.
And they complained about the whole area of Dutch culture being neglected or being lost. And the guy said, well, okay, I'll give you 600,000 euros for 2 years.
Okay.
And just see what you're going to do with it. So there was some extra money put in, especially for comics. But that was just one time, it's gone now. So
Yeah.
It was very hard for me, like a lot of comic artists, they do keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over. That's why all alcoholics and die very early. I think.
Yeah. This comfort zone.
I think it's because the readers are very conservative.
Yeah.
And they just want to see the same joke over and over and over.
Yeah. A lot of people when they read, it's like with breakfast, coffee and a sandwich as well. Yeah. It works every time.
But even in that, like the best artists are still developing within that framework. Like the guy that Asterix.
Yeah.
That guy's so amazing. His development from the early albums to the later books. Yeah. You see him developing his style, but it's all within the same idiom. But that guy this guy's one of the best artists I know. His early works from the 60s are very good. That guy's so good. All those French guys. The whole medium. So I think comics now are at a very interesting level because a lot of people have grown up with them and used them for personal expression. Yeah. So basically, they're standing on the top of this mountain of comics that have been done the last 100 years. Yeah. So I think there's such a diversity now. Stuff that comes out, it's like amazing. And they're still flying below a sort of critical radar.
Yes, like Eric Powell said. Here I am at the height of semi-obscurity.
Yeah, but that makes the medium absolutely free. Yeah. Because if you look at modern art, it's completely rigid. Museum art. There's nowhere it can go. Everything is intertwining and commenting on other artists, and it's totally dead as far as I'm concerned. The most interesting stuff is just below the surface, and then of course. Somebody pops out and becomes a museum artist, like Banksy or something, to name someone, which I think is very good. But Banksy, I don't know if it's one guy or a collective, but I think he's clever enough to...
he's spinning that story over and over again, so I don't think...
But that whole street art scene, for instance, is very interesting, all the stuff that comes out of there. Like Shepherd's Ferry, you sort of changed over into illustration and design. Yeah. I like that. I like that way, and it's the same with comics. And I'm also somewhere in between, because I studied fine art and I did illustration, and only when I did comics I started getting more into fine art, because people like my comics and asked me to do exhibitions. So I'm always somewhere in the middle of all those worlds. I think that keeps it interesting for me. Yeah. Well, I work for everybody. So it's just I think I have a very people like my ability to maybe alleviate the subject matter. Yeah. Because I always put a bit of humor in it, and it's like a glue between the viewer and the subject matter is usually very boring, and they ask me to do an illustration too. I always do try to use humorously. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes they're really stuck for an image. It's just we need an image to this article, for this magazine. Can you think of something? I usually can think of something just by making it absurd. And I always try to use the human measure as my main focus. So there's always a human figure in it, nearly all the time. I don't think my comics are very unnerving. No, I think they're Lovecraft light. Okay.
So you went for that?
No, I didn't do it on purpose. No, it just because I really want to do horror comics, but a lot of people read it and they said, "Oh, nice, you put some humor in it," but I was really offended. But in the end, I said, "Yeah, well, this is just who I am, So I can't do it any other." But I didn't try to make it camp or any less. But it's just the way it turned out. So, but I think that's just the guy I am. So I shouldn't fight it.
So where did they find the punchlines that you weren't aware of?
The punchlines?
Yeah, I mean, if
the readers
found you.
No, it wasn't exactly specifically any any changes I made. It's just the general atmosphere
Yeah.
of the characters interacting.
Oh.
Like Lovecraft has no dialogue,
Oh.
so all the dialogue is mine.
Yeah.
I sort of made that a bit lighter. Because in the beginning I used the archaic sort of archaic language Lovecraft uses.
Yeah.
And he just came back from holiday. So.
Yeah.
But my publisher said, now you try to alleviate lighten up the language a little bit. Otherwise it becomes so archaic.
Yeah.
So I think that's what people need. Yeah. The Lovecraft light. It's easier. It's more accessible than his stories. I think to read. Because reading Lovecraft stories sometimes is a bit of a chore. I think. You really have to dig into it to get that reward.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not really,
Definitely.
It's not really something you pick up and just it's not like Stephen King is. It's very easy to read. Sucks you in right away.
Yeah, Lovecraft you have to work with the text a bit more when you read his stuff.
Yeah, I think the stories aren't very well written, but the ideas are incredible. That's what caught me in the first time I read it. It was just so dark. There's no hope. It's very intense.
Yeah, it's abysmally comforting in some strange way.
Yeah.
So what's next now? The Lovecraft book is out and you're...
Yeah, I'm doing a lot.
Translate it
it's out in Spain.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be out in Germany and in France later this year. We're still hoping for an English language translation.
And a Swedish one.
And a Swedish one, of course.
Okay.
But if I have an English version, it will really sell worldwide. But there's a lot of stuff coming out. So the first responses from America were a bit cold. Because the first reaction was, what? Another Lovecraft adaptation? So that's not really positive. But I hope maybe if it sells well in France, maybe it will get picked up by because I think there is a lot of Lovecraft stuff out, but I think my book has a certain edge that the other books don't have.
Yeah, there has been a resurgence since I mean, he's always been public domain, of course, but when it really became public domain...
he's dead now for 75 years.
Yeah.
Now all his stories are public domain. So that's also why there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Also Hollywood is dabbling in it now.
Yes.
An idea I had for a long time.
And you talked about the murder battle.
That's the new comics project. Yeah. I want to do a book with a CD in it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be literal adaptations of the songs. The songs are going to be a basis for a story, because the songs are very stark and very unclear. It's just very dramatic. It's like a dramatic poem, I think, like a couple of verses.
Yeah.
But it's all blood and guts and a lot of remorse, and people are hanged.
Yes.
Very much sort of like sacrifice, and that's why I like that sort of starkness in a poem.
Yeah.
So I want to do stories like the song would be like a short version of the story instead of the other way around. So because there's no background in the songs, you can fill that in.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of getting around to that in my head. Then in a while I have to start writing and sketching.
Yeah. What songs do you have in the pipeline?
I think it's going to be a mix of traditional murder ballads, and new murder ballads. Like I'm a big fan of Steve Earle and Gillian Welch. I don't know if you know her. So she's a singer, but she writes songs like they would have been written like 150 years ago.
Okay.
But with a modern twist. And she has a few beautiful songs that I'm trying to maybe work into a story.
Yeah.
And then of course traditional songs like The Willow Garden or something, or Pretty Polly or that sort of stuff. But there's a lot of death and murder involved.
Yeah.
Usually, scorned lovers the scorned lover that kills his girlfriend or something. It's usually based around that sort of story.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting sort of thing, because those songs came from Scotland and Ireland to Appalachia.
Yeah.
And they sort of developed there in different versions. Most of the songs still have an Irish or Scottish version as well. But they were simplified in America. So
Okay.
I think that the songs became better, I think.
Yes.
And they switched tunes
Straight
around.
to the punch.
Yeah, but they also switched tunes around. Like a lot of lyrics have changed tune.
Okay.
The original Irish tune was put to another song or a different melody. But it's great if you see on both sides of the Atlantic people start recording those old songs again.
Yeah.
And then you hear different versions.
Yeah.